It is a beautiful morning and I already went on my morning walk. I feel so much better because the past few days were quite challenging with my health again. My chronic illnesses shown themselves to be chronic, which is always surprising to me, but I will never learn that these are recurring happenings. Yesterday I had a really bad headache, but today I feel so much better. And even though I had quite a lot of pain yesterday, I started a new rug, which is exciting. This one is supposed to be for my bathroom. It's slightly different than the other two ones that I made so far because it needs to be thinner so the door can move above it. So it needs to go under the door. I started that, and I also went on a little hike yesterday with my mom in the morning when my headache wasn't as bad, but then it progressed during the day. So I'm really happy that that's pretty much gone today. I wanted to give a quick update on my knitting projects. So I finished the baby slippers. They are stinking cute. I'm not a baby person, but I think tiny clothes are just hilariously cute. These are Christmas presents for my niece, if you haven't watched the last video. And this part is knit and then felted, and then I added this ribbing part, which I then sewed down on the inside. And it is hollow, so there is kind of like a tunnel. And there I added a tie. So these are done. And then I almost finished the body of the cardigan that I'm re-knitting. This is a never-ending project, but I feel like this one might be the final stage. This is the third stage of garment that this yarn inhabited. So the first one was a striped sweater, but not these faded stripes, but like color blocking stripes. But it was too small and too tight, so I unraveled it and added drops alpaca silk mohair substitute yarn. And then I made a cardigan which was way too big and too long, and I couldn't wear it because it was too big for my shoulders. And then I thought about different ways to fix it and ended up unraveling that one as well. And now this is the third time I'm working with the exact yarn. I'm almost done with the body. I started the ribbing yesterday evening, and I think I will be able to finish the body today, and then I can start with the sleeves, which is really exciting. And then I also started knitting a hat out of some leftover boucle yarn that I made a vest out of. So this is just a very simple hat. I just about finished the brim of it, so you can imagine this looking like this when it's done, especially with these strands hanging over my face. This is working up really quick. I'm holding the boucle yarn with some non-boucle yarn. This is Drops Flora, I think, and the boucle yarn is also Drops, because I'm a cheap girl. So these were the knitting updates.
your way or nothing at all, but I think you're moving too fast.
We just went to this insanely beautiful little waterfall. I really hoped no one would be there with me because I don't like to share these beautiful spaces with other people, and luckily there were no other people. It was great. I am now going to head back home, and I think I'm going to go into the sauna. So a really nice day today. So far it was really enjoyable, except for the bread I made. It turned out really weird. I don't know how that happened, because the first year when I was baking my own sourdough bread, it always turned out amazing, even with the gluten-free version. And now just the past weeks it's been terrible. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, if I'm doing something wrong, if my sourdough culture is kind of stupid now, I don't know. So that is kind of frustrating, but other than that, I am very pleased with how this day is going so far. So let's just hope the car will start, because when I started it to drive here, it wouldn't start. I had to force it. And I don't know if I can do it again if it doesn't want to be forced. So let's try it together. That sounds amazing. Let's get driving. So How am I supposed to work like this? I finished weaving and now it's time to sew down the edges. I could leave it like this, but I feel like these tassels will just attract dust and hair. And I do have a lot of hair because I grow my own, and then I have my dog and she's very hairy. So I'm going to sew them down. Actually, I already did one side and now I just have to do the other one, and then I can put it in its intended spot in the bathroom. So about the bathroom, a few weeks back I already started a process of making over my bathroom and make it more pretty. It is a pretty tiny bathroom, but it has everything I need, but it was very functional. There wasn't really place to store anything and I just put some little shelves in there, but I wanted to make like a proper beautiful bathroom out of it, and so I got a little cabinet for beneath the sink and a mirror cabinet to hang on top. And then I put some furniture feet on the cabinet that goes beneath the sink, and yesterday my dad and we finally hung up the mirror cabinet. Also, I had to fix some cables, and I am not a pro with electricity and I don't understand it very well, but my neighbor helped me. He somehow explained to me what I need to do without killing myself, and I succeeded in not killing myself, which is nice. And I also succeeded in having light because there are fixed lights in the mirrored cabinet. The rug is like the final piece of the bathroom makeover. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. I'm just quickly cutting off some ends that are really visible from where I changed the colors. It did turn out really good, I think. There are some small mistakes. Here's one and here's one. But yeah, it's a handmade piece, so of course it will have some mistakes. It will take a bit of time for it to lay flat because that's just it. It needs some time to adapt to its new purpose and shape, but I'm sure there are some things you can do to fasten that process, but I don't really care. It can look a bit wobbly. That is fine by me, and with my other two rugs it didn't took long for them to lay flat. So these are the two new pieces of furniture. I still need to find something to hide the cables on top. I do have an idea, but I need some things for that, so it's going to take a bit of time.
A jay was murdered here. We found them, the feathers.
They are really beautiful.
But looks like a murder scene here. Someone was probably dinner for someone else. Bye.